The black gates of Anmer Hall close with a heavy finality under the late summer sky. Prince William stands at the window of the upstairs study, watching the last of the security vehicles disappear down the long drive. Catherine sits at the antique desk behind him, reviewing a stack of documents that have been months in preparation. The children are with their grandparents for the weekend, a rare, carefully arranged window of privacy. What happens in this room tonight will shape the next 20 years of the monarchy in ways the public will only begin to understand much later. This isn't about one announcement or one public appearance. It's about the complete architectural redesign of how the Wales children enter royal life. George is 12 now, already carrying the quiet awareness of his destiny. Charlotte, at 11, possesses a poise that reminds many of both her mother and her late grandmother. Louis, at 8, still has the freedom of being the youngest, but even he is no longer shielded from the expectations that come with the surname. The plan they have built is exhaustive. George's education will remain at his current school for continuity, but a dedicated team of private tutors will begin intensive sessions in constitutional law, modern diplomacy, financial management, and public speaking. The curriculum has been designed by experts, hand-picked by William and Catherine themselves. No palace intermediaries, no input from Clarence House. Every lesson is calibrated to prepare him not just to reign, but to lead an institution that must survive in a world of instant scrutiny and declining deference. Charlotte's path is equally deliberate. She will continue her studies alongside her brothers for now, but her public role will accelerate sooner than traditional royal daughters of the past. Catherine has insisted on this. She believes the monarchy needs visible, capable female figures who can connect with younger generations. Charlotte will begin attending selected overseas engagements, with her mother starting next year, always age-appropriate, always tightly controlled. Media training has already begun in the gentlest possible way, teaching her how to speak with purpose, how to listen with intention, how to carry herself with the natural grace the public has already noticed in her. Louis remains the wild card in the best possible sense. William and Catherine are determined to give him as much normal childhood as the institution will allow. His schedule will stay lighter. His public appearances will be fewer. But even for him, the foundation is being laid. Private lessons in service, in environmental awareness, in the kind of hands-on work his parents believe will ground him as he grows older. The goal is balance. 3 children raised with the same values, but allowed to develop their individual strengths rather than forced into identical molds. Camilla learned of the broad outlines through official channels rather than a personal conversation. The message was courteous, but unmistakable. The Wales children's development would be managed directly by their parents. Extended family input, while welcomed in private settings, would not extend to strategic decisions about education, public exposure, or long-term positioning. For a woman who has tried for years to build genuine relationships with her step-grandchildren, the exclusion stings with particular sharpness. She has been kind to them. She has tried to find her place in their lives. Now she sees the careful distance being placed between her influence and their future. Charles received a more detailed briefing. William delivered it personally during a private lunch at Windsor. The conversation was respectful but firm. Charles listened quietly, nodding at the right moments, asking occasional questions about specific tutors and timelines. Those who were present say he looked tired in a way that went beyond his ongoing health concerns. He understands what his son is doing. He also understands why. The man who waited nearly 8 decades to wear the crown now watches the next generation, methodically preparing the ground for when their time comes. The wheel turns. Sometimes it turns faster than a father would like. Anne was brought into the planning early. She and William spent an entire afternoon walking the grounds of Sandringham, away from listening ears and watchful eyes. Anne's advice was characteristic, practical, unsentimental, rooted in decades of experience. She emphasized discipline, authenticity, and the importance of letting each child find their own way within the structure rather than being crushed by it. She also made one thing very clear. The children must be protected from the kind of public circus that damaged previous generations. Her support has been absolute and unwavering. Catherine has been the quiet architect behind much of this. She reviews every proposal personally. She meets with the tutors. She tests the children's schedules against what she knows of their personalities and needs. Those closest to her describe a woman who has studied the monarchy's successes and failures with clinical precision. She wants her children to serve with joy rather than resentment. She wants them to understand the weight of duty without being broken by it. She wants them to carry Diana's compassion forward without inheriting the isolation that came with it. The plan extends far beyond schooling. A long-term communication strategy has been developed with military precision. The children's public appearances will be fewer but more meaningful. Every photograph, every statement, every charity visit will be chosen to reinforce specific messages about continuity, service, and quiet strength. No scandals, no unnecessary drama, no blurring of lines between the Wales family and the wider royal ecosystem. The monarchy the public sees in 15 years will look noticeably different from the one it sees today. Smaller, sharper, more clearly centered on the direct line. Security protocols have been quietly upgraded. The children's digital footprints are being managed with extreme care. Their friendships are monitored not out of paranoia, but out of necessity. The palace has learned hard lessons from previous generations. William and Catherine are determined not to repeat them. Every layer of protection is designed to give the children space to grow, while shielding them from the worst excesses of fame and expectation. Late that evening, after the plans have been reviewed one final time, William and Catherine sit together in the library. The fire is low. The house is quiet. Catherine reaches for his hand. "They won't have the childhood we wanted for them," she says softly. William squeezes her fingers. "But they'll have the tools we didn't have. They'll have us, and they'll have each other. They both understand the cost. The public will see charming, well-prepared royal children. They will not see the hours of preparation, the careful balancing of normalcy and duty, the quiet sacrifices made to protect them from the institution's more corrosive elements. They will not see the nights William lies awake thinking about the promise he made to his mother all those years ago. They will not see Catherine's fierce determination to ensure her children are loved as fiercely as they are trained." Across the country, Charles sits with the detailed briefing William sent him. Camilla stands nearby, reading over his shoulder. Neither speaks for a long time. The message is clear. The next generation is no longer waiting for permission. They are building their own foundation, on their own terms, with their own vision for what the monarchy must become. The children will grow up knowing exactly who they are. They will understand the weight of their names without being crushed by it. They will serve with purpose rather than perform for cameras. And when the time comes for them to step fully into their roles, they will do so with the quiet confidence of people who were prepared, protected, and loved by parents who refused to let the mistakes of the past define their future. The monarchy has always evolved through moments like this. Quiet rooms, careful plans, parents trying to give their children both roots and wings. This time, the evolution is happening under William and Catherine's direction. The institution will be stronger for it, the children will be ready for it, and the legacy they inherit will finally begin to heal some of the wounds that have lingered for far too long.